This is not a debate.
In what is likely the final televised debate before the 2024 US presidential election, the two vice presidential candidates took to the stage to argue about whose boss would do a better job. But if you found the presidential debates were a bit too combative, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz and Ohio Senator JD Vance brought some Midwestern agreeableness to the evening.
I actually agree with Tim Walz.
Much of what the senator said right there, I'm in agreement with him on this.
Tim just said something that I agree with.
See? They're both nice guys. They get along. The problem is just their running mates and everything about them.
That I agree with. We don't want to blame immigrants for higher housing prices, but we do want to blame Kamala Harris for letting in millions of illegal aliens into this country.
Pass the bill. We're in agreement that we bring those home. The issue is Donald Trump is talking about it. Kamala Harris has a record, 250,000 more manufacturing jobs just out of the IRA.
The two candidates were asked questions mostly about domestic issues, including the economy, healthcare, abortion rights, the cost of housing and childcare, and gun control.
I unfortunately think that we have to increase security in our schools. We have to make the doors lock better. We have to make the doors stronger. We've got to make the windows stronger.
Sometimes it just is the guns. It's just the guns.
Everything the candidate said has to be taken with a grain of salt because debate host CBS News agreed there wouldn't be any live fact-checking from the moderators. Although they did attempt one, which led to a fact-check of a fact-check.
Just to clarify for our viewers, Springfield, Ohio does have a large number of Haitian migrants who have legal status.
Since you're fact-checking me, I think it's important to say what's actually going on. So there's an application called the CBP One app, where you can go on as an illegal migrant, apply for asylum.
Thank you, Senator.
Facilitation of illegal immigration, Margaret, by
Thank you, Senator, for describing the legal process. We have so much to get to, Senator.
It's since 1990. It's something that Kamala Harris created, Margaret.
Gentlemen, the audience can't hear you because your mics are cut.
For Vance, the night was all about reminding voters there's a crisis on the border, even if the claims he made haven't necessarily stood up to scrutiny.
We want to turn now to America's gun violence epidemic.
Thanks to Kamala Harris's open border, we've seen a massive influx in the number of illegal guns run by the Mexican drug cartels.
Let's turn now to the top contributor to inflation, the high cost of housing and rent.
The thing that has most turned housing into a commodity is giving it away to millions upon millions of people who have no legal right to be here.
For Walz, it was all about reminding voters about Trump.
Our allies understand that Donald Trump is fickle. He will go to whoever has the most flattery or where it makes sense to him. We had the fairest and the toughest bill on immigration that this nation's seen. Donald Trump said no, told them to vote against it because it gives him a campaign issue. It gives him what would Donald Trump talk about if we actually did some of these things?
Speaking of Trump, a debate isn't complete without revisiting some of the fundamentals of the democratic process.
I would just ask that. Did he lose the 2020 election?
Tim, I'm focused on the future. Did Kamala Harris censor Americans from speaking their mind in the wake of the 2020 COVID situation?
That is a damning non-answer.
The election is less than 5 weeks away. Will the results be accepted? Or will it kick off weeks of democratic unrest? We'll just have to stay tuned.